What's up guys, welcome to this exercise. Nestor Adriancian here again. Today we're going to learn about one of the most important DAX functions in Power BI. We're going to learn about calculate table. As always, if this is the first time that you stop by this channel, please hit the subscribe button so you won't miss anything. Alright, so let's get started. For today's tutorial, I have 3 different points. The first one, we're going to learn about the calculate table. The second point here, we're going to learn about the syntax of this particular function in Power BI. And finally, guys, I have a nice case. So now let's jump to the first point here. Calculate table. We have 2 points here. Calculate table performs the same operations as calculate, the only difference being in the result. Calculate table returns a table, whereas calculate returns a single value like an integer or a string. The second point here, calculate table works by modifying the filter context. Just to give you guys more background here. In Power BI, we have 2 different types of context. We have raw context and we also have filter context. Raw context is created every time we create a new column or we use an iterator like SumX, for example. And then for filter context, every time we create a visualization, for example, a table or a chart in Power BI, we are creating a filter context. Okay, so now let's go to the next slide. Syntax. Like I mentioned before, calculate table, its syntax is very similar to calculate. So we have 2 main parts here. We have the expression and we have the filter part. Right? So for the expression, this should be a table expression that we're going to evaluate, right? And then for filters, this is optional as well. This can be Boolean expressions or table expressions that defines filters or filter modifier functions. So please keep this in mind. So now let's go to the next point. 3 questions here. So let's take a look at the first question. Create a claims table which product claim is just TB. Interesting question. The second question here, create a table with unique products claim which claim date is greater or equal to April 1st, 2018. And finally, the last question here is find the total claim cost for all claims created in 2018. So now, no more talking and let's go to Power BI Desktop. All right, so here we are in Power BI Desktop, and before we get started with the exercise, let's take a look at the data, because this is going to be very helpful here. We have 2 tables here. We have the claims table, and we also have the dates table. The date table is also called calendar table. So if we take a look at the data tab here it is. So we select claims table. Real quick, we have claim ID, claim date, claim year. We have product claim here. So here we have 6 different products, just keep that in mind. And one of them is TB. What else? We have delivery company, we have collected premium, we have claim cost here, and we also have number of claims. We have more than 1 claim, right? 2 claims or 1 claim. Let's see. Yes, 1 or 2 claims. Okay, have shipping cost, city, and state. So this is going to be very helpful when we solve the questions, okay? So let's go back to report. And there you go. Let's start solving the first question here. So the question was to find a table just for TB. Okay, so how do we do that? We're going to use the calculate table function. So let's do that. Let's go to modeling here and let's hit new table here. And we're going to call this table TB. Equal here, I'll enter. And we're going to use calculate table. Quite straightforward, my friends. And right here, if you guys remember, we need to call a table, or it can be an expression as well that gives as a result a table. And for this case, we're going to use a table, which is claims table right here, right? Comma, I'll enter. And we only care about TB. So if you guys are guessing correctly here, product claim should be TB, right? Because this is text, quotation marks there, I'll enter. close parentheses, and we can rearrange this better if we want. There you go. Hit enter and let's see what happens. Boom. There you go, my friends. See, now we have a new table called TV. If we go back to data right here, and let's select TV, right? So this is what's happening. Product claim, we have just TV, and we have the other fields there as well. See, that's how it works. Very helpful. So now let's go back to report. And we solved the first question, my friends. Awesome. So now let's solve the second question. So the second question was to find unique products claim greater or equal to April 1st, 2018. So how do we do that? So we're going to do something similar here. Let's go to modeling, new table, and we're going to call this unique products claim. This is going to be the name of the table. I'll enter. And we're going to use calculate table as well. Right there. Here we're going to use this particular DAX function called values, because values is a table function and it's going to give us unique values only. Okay. Values here. We care about product claim here, right? So we are selecting here product claim because we want to learn the unique products claim. And here we're going to use the calendar table. There it is. This should be greater or equal to, remember that, April 1st, 2018. Because this is date, we want to use the date function here. 2018. And we can rearrange this better if we want. There it is. Let's approve this change, enter, and let's see what happens. So this is what's happening, my friends. Check this out. If you see right here, under the fields, we see another table called unique products claim. And let's see. Let's go back to data here, and let's select unique products claim. As a result, here we have 5 products claim with a claim date equal to or greater to April 1st, 2018. There you go, my friends. Let's go back to report. So right here, we already have a table. Let's see, we are using data from claims. So we don't want to use data for claims. So let's unselect these 2 columns here, and then let's select data from TV. Okay, so we're going to use category from TV, and we are going to use also product claim. And let's see what happens. There it is. We have just one product claim, we have TV. So if we want, we can also add city. It's just as an example, okay? To show you guys that the result is just for TV. So now we can duplicate this visually if we want. Control C, Control V. It is. And let's remove these columns here. And let's use this column, the column from the unique PC table. There it is. The same result there. Perfect, guys. We have solved the first 2 questions. Now let's solve the last question. So now let's solve the last question. The last question was to find the claim cost for 2018 for all products claimed. So let's do that. In order to answer this question, we're going to use a measure. So the next thing that we want to do here is create a table to store our measures. Perfect. So now we have another table called DAX measures. So right click here and let's create the measure. So here we're going to use a combination of DAX functions, okay? So we're going to call this claim cost 2018. I'll enter. We're going to use an iterator here, SUMX. It is. I'll enter. SUMX, as you guys can see here, has 2 parts as well. It has a table, that's the first part, and then the other part is the expression. So for table, we're going to use the calculate table function here. How do we do this? This is how we do it. So we're going to use claims here. And we care about 2018 only, right? So we're going to use the dates table here. In this case, we're going to use year, okay? And this should be 2018. I'll enter again, close parentheses. And this, guys, this is just the table that we have for the SUMX function, right? So the other piece here is the expression, comma here, I'll enter. And the expression, this is going to be the claim cost that we have, right? And this should be times the number of claims. This is the expression that we have for the SUMX function. I'll enter again, close parentheses. And now we can rearrange this to read the code better. So there you go, my friends. Let's approve this change, enter, and let's see what happens. All right, it seems like it's working. Let's see. We can delete this column if we want. So here we have the measure that we just created, and now let's create a card. There it is, and let's select the measure here. Boom, my friends. There you go. This is the claim cost just for 2018. And you can make a couple of changes here if you want as well. There you go, my friends. What do you think so far? Do you find this function helpful? It's very helpful for me. So now let's go back to our presentation. All right, guys, thank you very much for watching this tutorial. If you found the content helpful, please give me a thumbs up, share with your friends, and of course, don't forget to subscribe because you don't want to miss anything. Thank you guys, and see you in my next tutorial.